We're live.
We are live indeed, James. Thank you for the heads up and welcome to the fourth round of the World Series Championship in front row racing. My name is Dom Overdyking and I'm joined by Curly Whirly and Jammy James. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Very good, mate. Very good. What about yourself? What about you, Curly?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thanks. Yeah. What about
All
you,
right.
Dom?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. And after tonight's, yesterday's race, we're in for another great race. Hopefully today, as we see a lot of drivers here. We'll have a quick look at the drivers that we have today. James, can you walk us through the drivers?
I will definitely walk you through the drivers. So, in the Mercedes AMG Petronas Motorsport, we've got Ryan Hindle, or Hindle. Has Hindle's teammate not turned up yet?
Lefty Harthill, but there are some problems with Lefty Harthill because I believe Lefty Harthill left the league. Is that right, Curly?
As far as I'm aware at the moment, yes, that is the case.
Ooh,
Right.
okay. Well,
That's unfortunate.
Hindle needs a teammate. Maybe Johnny James 16 can be his teammate. Anyway, moving on to the Scuderia Ferrari, we've got the brothers in arms once again. We've got Calzo and Conzo. Last time out, I think that was a good battle between them, was there? I can't remember. Was there? But anyway, that's the Ferraris. In the Rebels, we got Will One Win One. Some interesting pre-race comments from him, and I have got the privilege of reading that out. Thank you very much, Steve. And next to him, we've got Fletcher Boy 77.
Right, who's in as a
In
reserve
the
for
Williams.
Stocky?
Oh, Fletcher Boy's reserved for Stocky, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Stocky can't be with us today. In the Williams, we've got Danny Railton 1987 and Gonk 721. In the Sahara Force India, we've got Ant 69 and Millstar. Another good pairing. I think Millstar hopefully going to take the battle to the front, and hopefully Ant can bring some points in the lower half. In the Renault, we've got nobody turned up yet. I believe Jade can't race with us. And who's Jade's teammate, Dom?
Lord JB, but unfortunately he can't race with us either tonight, as far as I'm aware. So let's crack on with the Toro Rossos.
Okay. So the Toro Rossos, we've got SBL, Malik Ekek and Valdemar. Two very good drivers. Hopefully Malik can push on from his... he's won one recently. Was it
Yeah,
last
won
race he
Bahrain. He
won?
won last race, James. Thank you
Bahrain, yeah,
for
he
being
did.
for being up to date with everything that's
Oh,
going
thank
on with
you.
the World Series.
That's not a problem, mate.
Um,
Well, I knew it. I just wanted confirmation. Anyway, in the Haas, we've got Farfber and RDB. In the McLaren, we've got Maznat and Stoffel. And in the Sauber, we've got Jamie James and Ali Montine. And Jamie James is going to go for it and have a race today. No, he's not, but anyway, there you go.
yeah,
So
anyway,
that is your teams and your drivers for tonight's event, gentlemen.
yeah, well, thank you for that, James. Obviously, Alain Muntian, after not being able to put his his rookie championship in last race, he will be taking the rookie seat for this race in the Sauber, alongside you, Jamie James. But obviously, you will be doing the commentary today, unfortunately for you, so you will not be racing today. Curly, what do you expect from this race? Any expectations from some drivers? Obviously, Calzo did get a disconnection, unfortunately, after crossing the line in first in Bahrain. He did not upload his footage. He had a problem with his recording, and therefore got disqualified. So that means Asbjørn Malik Keket has taken quite a big leap in the drivers' standings, but which we'll come to in a moment. But Curly, anyway, what do you expect from the drivers?
Yeah, I mean, Russia, it's a very low tire wear track, and I did ask the drivers about this a little bit. But in terms of, who we have on the grid, I think this is going to play into the hands of those drivers who are perhaps a little bit harder on their tires than usual. So I'm looking at drivers like SBL Malik Kekec, maybe Hindle tonight will be looking to get a good result at this track, simply because those guys are normally a little bit harder on their tires than some of the other drivers, but here in Russia that doesn't matter too much.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to walk you through the weekend tyre allocation, the three different tyre presets. We've got the softer set, which means you'll get a full set of ultra softs in quali. All four sets in the qualifying are ultra softs, one set of supers and one set soft in the race. The balanced set means you get one super soft and set of ultras in the qualifying. And then for the harder set means you get two sets of ultras and one set of each of the other tyres for qualifying. And the race tyre remains the same for all three sets. But let's see and let's await what weather we are going to get at the because obviously yesterday it did rain in the World Championship. So I think most drivers will be hoping for a dry track, or is that not true, Curly? Because I believe you asked the drivers some pre-race comments about this.
Yeah, we actually have a good mixture of drivers for hoping for different weather conditions. We had Konzo hoping for the rain, also Calzo hoping for some rain tonight, but then some others. I mean, we've got Mali Kekec hoping it's dry, Maznat hoping it's dry, Valdemar as well. So yeah, a good mix from the drivers. I think just before we see the drivers get onto their qualifying laps, I'm going to do a quick run through of the standings after Bahrain. So do the driver standings first. In first place, we have SPL Mali Kekec sitting on 65 points. Second, we have Konzo with 51, followed by his brother Calzo, who's got 37. And, well, the interesting thing there is Calzo obviously crossed the line first in Bahrain, but then was disqualified post-race, and that's hurt him in the standings a lot. Then we've got Hindle in P4 with 28 points, followed by Stocky, who's not racing tonight. He's got 27. And we've got Garfield, who's also not racing tonight, sat in P6 with 20 points, followed by Will 1, Win 1, Milstar, Valdemar, and Maznat making up the rest of the top 10. Then just outside the top 10, we've got Farthba with 4 points, Lord JB with 2, and Gonk, Lefty Hardtail with 1 solitary point each. Those drivers who are still waiting to score, we've got Danny Railton, RDB, Ant69, and also the rookie car is yet to score a point so far in the World Series. And I'll just go straight on to the constructors standings. We've got Toro Rosso, so that is SPL Mali Kekec and Valdemar. They're leading the way with 95 points, then followed very closely by Ferrari with 88. Red Bull, who've got a reserve driver in Fletcher Boy in tonight, they're sat in third place in a bit of space. They've got 45 points, followed by Mercedes, who've got 29, and then McLaren very close behind them with 26. Force India with 12 points are sitting in 6th place. Behind them is Haas with 4, Renault with 2 points, and Williams with just a solitary point. And we've got the rookie Sauber yet to score a point, although Ali Montine was saying before the race that he is hoping to get into the points tonight. So it'll be interesting to see if he can grab the first point for the rookie car.
I'm on board with Maznat, who's the first car out on track, and he's followed by a Toro Rosso. I do notice, unfortunately, that I have made the mistake of not clicking the spectator mode. So this means I'll be a car on the grid. But the benefit of that is that I can actually see the qualifying time. So yeah, I'm sorry guys, unfortunate. But we're gonna have to work with this. Maybe I can leave at the end of the session and then join before the race starts. I don't know if that works, Shirley. Do you know?
I don't know about that. We don't have the formation lap at the moment on this game, so I don't think we would have the time to make that work. I think we would run the risk there of you might not be able to get back in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Excuse me for that, and excuse me for the for all the viewers for this mistake. We were too busy with
typical John can't set up a lobby.
Yeah. Thank you, James. Thank you for that contribution. Anyway, on Rob Maznat of 34.2 in the first sector, as he's the first car out to set a time. On the ultra soft tyres, I just looked at the weather. The weather looks dry for both sessions. So some drivers will be happy, some drivers won't be happy, as Maznat seeks every bit of the track in order to improve his time. The 34.2 first sector as he goes onto the second DRS straight of this circuit. Obviously 2 DRS straights, one at the finish straight and one at the back straight here where Maznat crossing the second detector point with a 33.1. What times are we looking at, Curly?
Well, I think yesterday we saw the pole time was a 33.2, although speaking to Hamilton after the race, he did feel as if he could have just dipped down into the 32s. So will we see a time there tonight? Maybe not quite, but possibly close. I expect to see these guys right down in the very low 33s. Maybe if someone really nails the lap, they can get into those 32s, but it's very, very difficult around here. We see Valdemar take the provisional pole right now. But yeah, I mean, this is a tricky circuit, and I think we'll see a larger gap between drivers in qualifying here than we have perhaps at the last 3 circuits.
Yeah, indeed, putting in the 34.3 as the first time on the board, and he's followed by quite a couple of cars. Calzo actually on the pole position right now with a 34. Oh, go on.
Oh, hold on. No, Malek, sorry, had backed out of that lap, never mind. Got Hindle just crossing the line now. He looks like he's just starting his lap. Dom, why don't you take us through a lap of Russia with Hindle?
Alright, we'll take us through a lap of Russia with Hindle indeed, as he breaks around the 100-metre mark for the first corner. And he takes it nice and tight. Need to seek every bit of track you can find in that first couple of corners. But not go over it, obviously, because the track limits are very, very harsh in this game as he goes through the long left-hander of turn 4. Tight apex into turn 5 then, as he is about to cross the first sector line. And he puts a 34.0. I do believe that is a very quick time at the moment, if we look at the rest of the time. But then again, Ryan here, braking at the black box on the top left of his screen to tuck it in nice and tidy for that corner. And then taking us through this corner nice and tidy early on the throttle, but you do need to be careful. You see Ali Muncie, okay, yeah, that is, okay, well that is, I think that is messed up Ryan Hindle's lap here, unfortunately, but I will take us through the rest of the lap, as he is on the DRS brake on the second detection. Let's see what has it done to his time. That's a 33.1, not too bad, but not too great, I think. Hindle, the type of guy he is, he should be able to do quicker than that, but obviously, that did not help his time as he's in the last sector, very, very tricky sector, very easy to lose the car right here where Hindle is now. As he's going to approach the last two corners of the circuit, breaking at the 100-metre marker board, tucking it in nice and early for that apex, and then having a late apex in this one, and then crossing the line for a 34.5. I think that is a time that Hindle will not be very happy with. Curly?
Yeah, that's surprising because Hindle was purple in the first sector, so to see him, well, 8/10ths down on Calzo, he's clearly lost a huge amount in the latter half of the lap. Might be running a different setup. I mean, he might be running much lower wings than Calzo perhaps, but yeah, Fletcher Boy on his debut up into second place in his Red Bull with a 34.0. That's a good lap from him.
It's a good lap by Fletcher Boy indeed as he backs out of his lap now, going for an in-lap 34.0. Are we looking for times that are a lot quicker than this? Because, I mean, the times now, the quickest time is set by Calzo at 33.7. Do you think a lot of guys will get into the 33s, or do you think Calzo will be
I think we'll see most of our sort of front-running group get into the 33s, but more so at the end of the section. I'd say right now, you know, the track evolution on this game is really high, and I wouldn't expect everyone to be getting into the 33s right at the very start. But yeah, I'm on board with Millstar at the moment, and I think Millstar was feeling quite confident coming into this race. I did speak to him earlier on, and he said that he was looking for a top 6 here tonight, and I've got to say Millstar's had some great pace on F1 2017 so far. He's maybe not had quite the results that he deserves, but yeah, I mean, he's been looking quite strong so far this season, and I don't think a top 6 tonight is out of the question for him.
Have you had any pre-race comments from Millstar as we are at it now?
Yep, hold on, let me just grab that for you. So, yeah, I mean, he was saying that he doesn't want it to rain, so that's good for him here as we've got a dry qualifying and a dry race. He then says the low tire wear at this circuit means that he can keep braking late without worrying about saving his tires, and he's hoping for well, he did say kind of a lucky top 6, but I don't know if that's just him being a little bit polite there. I think that he's probably looking for a top 6 tonight. He's up in P5 at the moment, so yeah, something quite good for Millstar.
In P5 with a lap time. We'll have a look here at 35. I think Millstar should be able to go a little bit quicker than that actually. What does surprise me, which I'm seeing now, Konzo on the Super Soft, the 35.0 as well, in 6th position. Do you think Konzo will be going for a different strategy here today?
I doubt it. I don't know why you would. I mean, this circuit is probably the easiest one stop of the whole year. I don't know why you would start on anything other than the Ultra Softs, to be honest. That seems like a bit of a strange decision from Konzo.
Yeah, but then again, he could start on the Super Softs and then go for Ultra Softs later in the race. Maybe the cars ahead of him are battling, and that will benefit Konzo towards the end of the race, and then maybe Konzo will get to play. But then again, we might see Konzo out on track very shortly, as we do see a couple of cars coming out of the pits. Here's RDB. With the number 86 Haas car going out of the pits. Have you got any pre-race comments from him, Curly, or did he not reply to you?
Yep, I do have some comments from... Oh, hold on, perhaps I don't.
Just so you know, Hindle's jumped up to second now, guys. He's only 10th and a half behind Caldo.
I'm trying to find him. As we do see Konzo coming out on the track on a set of ultra soft tyres. So Konzo, the reigning World Series champion, will be trying to get in well, close to his teammate in pole position at the moment, Konzo. So Konzo, as Maznat retires from the session, where did Maznat end up? He ends up in 5th position on the ultra soft tyres. So a little bit of disappointing qualifying session for Maznat, I would say. Showed very good pace in the first race of the season, Australia, until he unfortunately binned it at the exit of turn 12. But Maznat will be looking for another good result today, I reckon.
Yeah, so I do actually have a pre-race comment from RDB, and he was hoping for some rain going into this race, and he was planning, if it rained, to do a no-stop, but unfortunately for him tonight it is dry. He also said good luck to all of the teams and drivers. So yeah, RDB was one of those guys hoping for wet conditions this evening, but it's not worked out after, you know, the championship and the reserve race last week was dry. Sorry, both of those races were wet, and tonight we have the dry conditions.
What has surprised me yet is that both the Haas cars have actually not set a time yet, and we see Farper out on the super soft tyres, so that will be Farper qualifying on a super soft for sure. With only 1 minute left, this will be the last lap that he will be able to do. Millstar retires from the session. What position is he in currently?
Yeah, Millstar he's in P6 at the moment. I expect to see him fall down the table a little bit. There's a lot of guys sat there in the kind of low 35s at the moment that will be looking to improve on their laps. Another driver as well who's got it all to do is SBL Mali Kekec, who is very slowly winding up for a lap, just letting the Red Bull through. And he's not got a time on the board yet, so it's all or nothing. He's only got 1 lap to go for it, our championship leader. So he's really taking a big risk here.
Ball with Mali Kekec now. So a lot of pressure here for Mali Kekec on this particular lap with only P16. So if he wants to get anywhere near the front guys and wants to defend his championship lead, he will have to put in a very, very good time, or at least a valid time, because obviously track limits, I don't know if you find that out yesterday, Curly, track limits are very high. We saw quite a lot of penalties last night's race in only 5 dry laps.
Yeah, though I think that was sort of compounded by the situation of going from wet to dry. It can be a little bit difficult to know how much grip that you've got, but I mean, one thing watching these series drivers right now is how incredibly late they are on the brakes. I mean, Mali Kekec was on the brakes and I think about 105 meters into turn 1 there, so yeah, I mean, these guys are really shortening those braking zones, and this is looking like a solid lap so far. But I mean, if you're in this situation, I think you've got to be a bit nervous to go completely flat out, because you know that if you make a tiny mistake and just cut something or extend something just by a little bit at this track, that you'll be starting at the very back of the grid, and Mali Kekec cannot afford that.
Right on board with him in the last sector. Mali Kekec very early on the throttle through these set of corners, and then Mali Kekec a lot of pressure on him right now as he approaches the last 2 corners. Where is he going to put him? In reference to his competition, Caldo Hindle in the top 2 at the moment. Konzo still to set a time. Valmar is in 4th position, and where does Mali Kekec go? He's got pole, 33.4. What a lap time by Mali Kekec. But I'm going to get on board with Caldo,
just about to cross the line on his lap.
Will Caldo be able to beat him? A 33.5. He's not done it. So, well, what a qualifying session at the end then, boys. Konzo getting up to P4, so the expected 4 front runners in top 4, boys. Take us through through the results. Any one of you?
Go on, I'll let James say that. He's not had too much of an opportunity yet.
Yeah, go on. So on pole by just a tenth is SBL Mali in the Toros. So Calzo just missing out by a tenth, like I said, in second. Hindle only a couple tenths out back after that, followed by Konzo, Fletcher in 5th, Valdemar 6th, Maznat 7th, 8th Millstar, Will Win 1 in 9th, Ant in 10th, Gonk 11th, Daniel Railton 12th, and Ali Montaigne is in 13th. I did see someone got a penalty then. I don't know what kind of penalty it was, unless it was a... Sometimes the game does award penalty, but obviously doesn't apply it in the race, so it could be just a glitch, or we could possibly quite see a car off position.
I'm going to look at the tyre strategy here, because I'm on the grid obviously, It says an easy one stop here with well, start on the ultra soft, stop at lap 11, and then do 16 laps. There are 16 remaining laps on the super soft tyres, but I do believe someone has pressed ready. So yeah, well, I'm going to have to get out of the way. I don't know if I've got a car behind me actually. I'll ready up and see.
I'm on the
last car on the grid, so that is fine.
Okay, I'll take you guys. I'll take you guys through the start. Give it a bit of radio commentary, while you guys get your cars retired there, as we're just waiting for the timer to count down. And here we are in Russia, round 4 of the World Series, as we count up to 5 red lights, and it is lights out away. And Farthba has jumped the start way back there, but it's a solid start for Calzo in P2. He's coming up alongside Mali Kekec. It's a fantastic start, and Hindle is in the wall. It's a huge crash. Mali Kekec is out as well. Calzo has retired from the session. He had a contact with Hindle, another first lap incident for Hindle, and he is, well, Calzo is out of the race. Hindle is, he's down to P4, but I don't think he's lost too much. He might have some damage here because he's very slow through turn number 3. Mali Kekec has dropped all the way to the back. He has significant amounts of damage. It looks like Hindle has, Hindle's got a lot of front wing damage as well, and that's given Valdemar the lead on this opening lap, followed by Maznat, who's come from quite a long way to back up to P2. Konzo maintaining that P3 as we're having a little bit of lag off of Valdemar's car, but also Milstar, fantastic start for him. He's up to 4th place. Really good stuff from him. But yeah, I mean, the front runners and I mean, 3 of the guys in the championship battle coming together there on the opening straight. It looked like Hindle and Calzo had a bit of contact, and that collected SBL Mali Kekec, as we're now seeing. Oh, sorry, that was just a slight mistake there. What's happened to Will1Win1? He's side by side with his reserve teammate Fletcher, who has gone through. So, yeah, Fletcher taking the advantage there against Will1.
There's a yellow in sector 3 as Danny Railton gets a penalty for corner cutting in the first. Oh, there's a William going going into the ball.
Hold on, sorry, I'm going to cut you off. We've got Konzo making move on Maznat down into the penultimate corner. Maznat defending very aggressively there. Konzo's going to try and set him up for a run on this straight. As Hindle grabs a 5-second stop-go penalty as well. That's unfortunate because he's got wing damage. But yeah, I mean, Konzo is right up behind Maznat. He's surely going to have a look down into the first corner, and he does go to the inside. Is he going to be later on the brakes? Maznat is a little bit later, but Konzo has the inside line. He just closes the door on Maznat, actually pushes him off the circuit. And is he going to let him through here? No, they're still side by side through turn 3. Maznat trying to come back at him as they go down into the right-hander of turn 4. He tries to hold it around the outside, but that's just not possible. And Konzo is through. Well, he's going to have to defend down towards turn 5. And Maznat trying to go around the outside. He is later on the brakes. He's holding it beautifully. He might actually get this move done all the way around the outside on Konzo. Our reigning champion in the World Series. They're still side by side through this middle sector. What incredible action from these two. And yeah, still Konzo now just getting ahead a little bit, holds it right around the outside, and now we've got Milstar taking advantage of that, and he's just grabbed P3 off of Maznat. Very opportunistic move from Milstar, but what phenomenal driving from Konzo and Maznat there.
Yeah, great driving, well, side by side for half a lap, but there's a massive train fall behind them for 2 Red Bulls and a Williams have gone. But yeah, Milstar being stuck behind these two, driving side by side. I was on board with him for half of that battle. Milstar just stuck, could not go anywhere as Alain Muntian picks up his first 3-second time penalty of the race for receiving corner cutting warnings. But Konzo now in P2, Valdemar's already 2 seconds up the road. What a start!
Yeah, Alain Muntian's got he's got some wing damage as well. He's missing, I think, a part of his end plate. Actually, no, maybe not. No, I think he does actually have all of his wing. Never mind. It just looks as if the spacing was wrong there. But I do believe he has all of his wing. But we've got Farthba in the pits and Danny Railton in the pits as well. I think both of them have got front wing damage, so they've built in. And I mean, if you're pitting at this point on lap 3, the other thing is as well, Farthba has got the soft compound tires on at the moment. No, he was serving his drive-through. That's why he's in the pits.
Yeah.
Just so you know, guys, we're after the pits. Hindle's put the super softs and Mali's put the softs on. Probably going to the end on them ones.
I think Hindle's going to go to the end on the super soft tyres.
No. I think Mali will definitely go. Mali will go to the end. Hindle, it's a big shout to do that many laps on the super softs, but we'll see how it pans out.
So
yeah, I think we know. I mean, Hindle's normally a little harder on his tires, so I don't think he'll be able to get a set of super softs 26 laps. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, because he does have the faster tires compared to Malik Agic. Malik Agic probably will not need to stop again.
But with Malik Agic now, a championship leader down in P12, and the guy that is, I think, sat in P2 or P3. Is it Carl's on P2 or P3? Well, anyway, he's out of the race. It's unfortunate I didn't get to see that crash on the broadcast. So
I was going to say, why don't Curly can Curly record that and we can stick it into edit it into the broadcast maybe, or put it at the end.
I can probably do that, yeah. Probably grab a recording after the race, but yeah, I'm on board with Fletcher right now, who's actually doing very well to keep up with Maznat and Millstar. Maznat is also quite close to Millstar here, so yeah, on his debut in the World Series, Fletcher's doing a really good job, sitting in 5th place, and I think the Red Bull will be very, very happy with that.
Doing very well, but what I just saw is Ponzo putting in the quickest time and closing in on Valdemar with 0.7 of a second in 1 lap. So Ponzo on a charge here, will he grab his first win of the season maybe? As Hindle is now putting in the fastest lap on a super soft tyre, so Hindle on a charge here.
Yeah, I think with I mean, Malik Agic being down in 12th, Calzo out of the race, Stocky's not even here. Konzo, he really needs to win this race for his championship hopes. He's got to get past Valdemar, I think. He's been given an absolutely golden opportunity here to get a huge points haul on his rivals. He's got to make the most of it, and he is starting to close down on Valdemar. He's just over a second behind now. He'll be within the DRS pretty soon.
Yeah, it's very close in the top 5. Got Millstar at the start of the train with the two with the Maznat and Fletcher Boy battling. Fletcher Boy's got past Maznat.
Yeah, Maznat made a mistake, I think.
I think it's fitting. I don't know. It looked like he was just giving him in place. I'm not too sure on that one.
Well, let's have a look then. Maznat into the pits after 5 laps on the Ultra Stuff. A very early stop by Maznat, but he might. Oh, he's retired. Oh.
Yeah, that's a strange one. I think he's had to leave the session. I assumed that something has happened and he's had to abandon the race. Unfortunately for him, that was looking like a solid position. He was right up there behind Millstar, so yeah, Maznat unfortunately no longer in the race.
Konzo's half a second behind Valdemar.
Yeah,
he got a yellow flag in sector 1. I think that might be for Maznat's car.
Yeah.
Okay, I have just received confirmation that Maznat apparently has been late called into work, so unfortunately he's had to stop the race tonight. That's a big shame for him, because he was P4, and he's had a pretty torrid time of it this season. I mean, he put it on pole in Australia, but then crashed that race, and I think the other races he's been involved in some incidents early on. So yeah, another pro racer Maznat here.
It's unfortunate for Maznat, as Konzo is now within 0.2 of a second on Valdemar, and we'll be looking to make a move very soon. Obviously, Konzo, the reigning World Series champion, and well, I'm not going to lie, he's been how do I say it? He's been dominated by Calzo, really. For the first 3 races of the season, his little brother, and well, you don't want to get beaten by a teammate, but you definitely don't want to get beaten by your brother. So Konzo really looking to make moves here on Valdemar and open to disappear into the sunset. But we know Valdemar's done a couple of very, very strong races last season, and also this season when he came back from I think his trip to Barcelona. Valdemar, not a guy that is going to give up on that position very easily. Looking to have very, very good straight line speed, but Konzo going to go for the move. He's not going to look, but he's not made the move stick. Valdemar very, very late on the brakes. Valdemar keeps holding on to that P1 at the moment.
Yeah, the other thing about this as well is that Toro Rosso and Ferrari are battling for P1 in the constructors at the moment. So yeah, I mean, this is more than just a battle for the win, but also you know, Valdemar is going to be thinking about his teammate Malik Agic, who's currently leading the championship, and we would assume would be involved in the championship battle all the way through the season. Valdemar can't let Konzo through here. He's really got to pull something out of the bag and hold on to this position, but it's going to be difficult because Konzo is considerably quicker at the moment.
Konzo takes it onto the second DRS straight. We're on board with Konzo. Let's have a look at the straight line speeds. Obviously Konzo with DRS. Will he be able to make a move into the last sector here? It was Valdemar suffers from a little bit of lag, and Konzo's having to avoid that. He's alongside him. Can he make the move stick? He's not. Valdemar's given him the space he needs, but defending at the same time. Konzo can start from scratch on the finish straight as we're about to be starting lap 7 on the 27 lap race. When do you think we'll see the first pit stops? Well, in the top 5, Curly.
Yeah, this is interesting because the tyre wear is so low at this circuit that realistically you can pit at pretty much any time from probably about lap 5 or lap 6 onwards and make it to the end on a set of super softs. So really you've just got to find a moment where you think you can make an undercut happen and just go for it. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see any of the top 5 in from really any time now onwards. I think the latest we'll see someone pit is probably about lap 12 or 13. But yeah, I mean, they could come in at any point.
I'll tell you what, any of the top 4 come in now, they've got a good shot at the undercut on this Konzo is finding it hard to get past Valdemar, and it really is dragging Milstar and Fletcherboy into it. So if somebody could use the ingenious strategy mode and maybe pit for the undercut, it could pay out dividends for them.
Obviously, well, I know you guys obviously know that it's very hard to get past the car here. You can be considerably quicker than the car. As Konzo,
Konzo, he's got to move on Valdemar down the back straight, and he's already alongside him, past him. Valdemar making a mistake out of that corner there, and yeah, he is ahead now coming into the 3rd sector, and that's Konzo taking the lead. Valdemar trying to come back at him, but Konzo just covering that off while parking his car on the apex, and that is Konzo up into the lead of the Russian Grand Prix.
I'd keep an eye on these two because Valdemar's front line speed is pretty good, so I'd expect him to be having a go at Konzo into turn 2.
Well, with the rear wing of Konzo, we arrive on the straight for the 8th lap of the Russian Grand Prix. Valdemar makes a little bit of a mistake, bad traction for Valdemar there. Let's see how good a straight line speed is compared to Konzo. We saw then how hard it was for Konzo to get past Valdemar, but Valdemar's too far back at this point to make a move. Yeah, what I was saying, Curly, I mean, we know how hard it is for a car behind another car to get past that car, even if the car behind is a lot quicker. So this will be playing a part in this race. Do you think? Really?
For anyone that's a little out of the loop,
car,
just wait for my footage for the Russian Grand Prix, and you'll understand exactly what Overdyking is talking about.
Valdemar is, I think, pushing every little bit out of his tyres to keep up with Konzo, using every little bit of track and a little bit beyond. But Konzo just being too quick at this point. But look how close the top 4, maybe 5 are at this stage of the race.
Just so you know, Hindle and Farf were 9th and 10th, very, very close. Hindle on the super soft, Farf on the softs.
Hindle's going for a move. He's going for a move. Yeah, tried to force his way through. But Farf not let him through just like that. But now Hindle, I think, does make the move, and Farf is still alongside. And now Hindle has made his way past Farf for P9 in this Grand Prix, as it will be damage limitation today for Hindle, unless something extraordinary happens to the 8 cars in front of him, which is obviously not very likely. As we've seen Milstar very close in the back of Valdemar here. So will Milstar be able to grab a surprise P2? I mean, Milstar, very quick drive, but it's not hard races like this so far in FRR. But will Milstar be able to bag his first podium?
Valdemar looking incredibly quick in a straight line there. It's going to be hard to get past him. I mean, I think the only reason Konzo really got past there was because Valdemar made a pretty large mistake. Valdemar's had a huge moment. He's lost the rear of the car, and he's in the wall. And Valdemar there, he's just lost the rear of the car through the long left-hander there of turn 3. and it's very easy to do, and that's put him in the wall. He's got wing damage. He's got no front wing at all, and that's pretty much his podium hopes now. He's now going to limp this car back to the pits, but he will be able to take this next set of tyres to the end. So I still think there's some hope of points here for Valdemar, but he's got to try and get this car back to the pits. He's understeering all over the place. Gonk's about to get past him, I think, now as well.
Gonk does make his way past Valdemar. This is a hell of a breather. Look how far the front four are spread out all of a sudden. What we do see is Wilmon Winmon being very close to the back of his teammate. Only 6/10 separating the two Red Bulls at this point. But Konzo's got a 3-second lead on Milstar. This is an ideal.
Oh, sorry, Fletcher has damage as well. Fletcher's missing all of the end plate on his right-hand side. He lets his teammate through. I think that's a smart move. So, yeah, he's had an incident somewhere. I'm not sure with what, but he's going to have to come into the pits on this lap as well and get a new front wing. So, yeah, drivers up the front really sort of falling by the wayside. But that promotes Wilmon Winmon up into P3. James, do you have a pre-race comment from
Milstar's in the pits? Sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off. Milstar's in the pits from P2. He's going to put the super soft tyres on at the start of lap 10. Will that take him to the end? Probably it will, but the tyres at the end won't be as nice as they would have been if he would have pitted a couple of laps later. But Milstar definitely going for the undercut here, obviously being more than 3 seconds behind the front leader, Konzo. So Milstar trying something different. Go on.
Milstar's comments that we got through. He basically said earlier mentioned that some of them didn't want rain, some of them wanted rain. Milstar didn't want rain, but the low tyre means I can keep braking late without worrying about my tyres much. Should definitely play into my hands. Hopefully, looking for a top 6 if lucky. But that's definitely on the cards for Milstar. So. Hopefully there's a yellow flag in sector 1.
I think just coming out of the pits there, Milstar has had contact with Alan Muntean, and Alan Muntean has broken his front wing, and he's now really struggling around. So I'm not sure. I think Milstar coming out of the pits and maybe braking at a slightly different point from Alan has caught him out there. But Alan with some significant front wing damage as well. And we've seen this a lot on this game where you get that front wing damage, and it's not like F1 2016. I mean, on this game, front wing damage is going to cost you several seconds a lap. It's really, so it's almost going to race over at that point. So he's got to bring this car into the pits on this lap. But we're seeing these guys go into the pits. Konzo in the pits. We've got Wilmon Winmon in the pits as well. Gonk continues on for another lap. We've actually got RDB up into 4th on the super soft tyres. He's looking in a really good spot at the moment because he'll get to go onto the faster compound at the end, so keep an eye on him. It'll be interesting to see if Milstar can grab an undercut on Konzo. Konzo just leaving the pits now. Milstar coming on the pit straight. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough, but he should reel in that gap a little bit. I think it'll be closer than what it was, but yeah, Konzo will go out, and he is in the effective race lead as of the moment.
That is true. RDB now up into P2 in the second Haas, because the first Haas is actually down in P12. I just saw Farfur getting some wing damage and crashing his car, and then really struggling to keep it inside the track limit. So Farfur into the pits right now, as we see Alan Muntean into the pits as well after that wing damage you were just talking about, Curly. But RDB very close to Gonk here. Do you think these guys will come into play for a top 5 position at some point in the race, these two?
I think almost definitely. I mean, we saw Gonk was getting up towards that top 5. RDB is only 2 seconds behind him. He's on the super soft tyres. So, I mean, yeah, I think that, who's going to really jump RDB here? It'll be Konzo, Milstar, and Wilmon Winmon. Maybe Fletcher as well, but he's looking pretty good to get himself up into that battle. And RDB yet to grab some points in this season so far, so this would be a fantastic haul for him.
Just so you know, guys, Valdemar and SPL, Mali has they changed. It looks like team orders have changed position. I think Valdemar and Super Soft has let Mali Mali's let Valdemar through.
Gonk into the pits. That puts RDB up into the lead of the race. Gonk going the longest out of anyone on these ultra soft tyres. He will have a slight tyre advantage for the second stint, the remaining 15 laps on these super softs. It'd be interesting to see if he can make use of that as Milstar grabs the fastest lap of the race. making use of those super soft tyres. And he's, what was that? I mean, 3.5 seconds behind Konzo. He gained a little bit during that, but you can see Konzo just starting to extend that gap now, and it's not going to take him too long to catch RDB, I don't think.
I'm going to have to correct you there, James, because it was Valdemar's as well. It was Mali Keket letting Valdemar through, because Valdemar's actually being the quicker guy at the moment on the super soft tyres, and obviously Mali Keket being on the softs.
That's what I said, mate.
No, you said it the other way around. You can listen back to the broadcast if you want.
I meant that way. I meant that way.
Well, cool. Thank you. Anyway, they are now sandwiching Gonk, who's come out in 8th position. And I think Gonk will be able to go to the end of the race on that. So Gonk looking good for a couple of points here. Obviously, with some guys needing to pit. I think Hindle obviously still needing to pit, and I think the rest of the guys I'll get the telemetry on. I think the rest of the guys actually have pitted. Oh no, RDB is not pitted. So this might put RDB a little bit further behind Gonk. But anyway, this is looking good for Gonk here then, in the 8th position. I don't think the Williams team, have the Williams team got a point yet?
Just the one, but Mali Keket just having a look at him down towards the 3rd sector. This is a difficult point to pass on the track, curved braking zone. It'd be risky to make a move here, but Mali Keket has just about gotten the move done on the brakes. Gonk trying to do a bit of an undercut on him, but that hasn't worked. Mali Keket looking quite a lot quicker at the moment. Looks like he's got better traction, so yeah, he's not past Gonk. But I think looking at this top 5 is going to be interesting. I think Hindle likely has to pit again, so he will drop back quite a long way, although he will go to the ultra softs and be very fast at the end of the race. But yeah, I mean, I think the main story here, Millstar currently sitting P3 on track. I think he's on for P2 at the moment. What a fantastic result that would be.
You see Konzo getting very close to the back of RDB, floating in 10th after 10th. And now he's within a second, so he will be in DRS. But can Konzo maybe complete this move as RDB goes off? Struggling with his tyres, obviously RDB being on them for 13 laps. Konzo now within half a second. Will he be able to complete that move in DRS, or will he even complete it before it and go for a dive up the inside of this corner here? Konzo using, I think RDB's actually let him through. RDB knowing that's just not his battle at the moment. Well, Konzo being in the effective lead, RDB knows he's not going to win the race, so why battle Konzo and lose time for the both of them when they can lose minimal time by letting him through. I think RDB might be on course for pitting in this particular lap, but we'll have to wait and see when they do get to the pit straight. But Konzo looking good. He's building his gap to Millstar, well, I think by about second a lap, so Konzo's really got some very strong pace here.
Yeah, I think RDB will maybe want to go a little bit longer. I would expect to see him in the pits maybe lap 15, 16 for a set of ultra softs. I can't imagine that he would decide to go for the softs, and he is staying out, so yeah, I would expect him to go a little bit longer and then really push those ultra softs towards the end of the race. I would expect the same from Hindle as well to come in around about that time, so both these guys will be dropping back a fair amount. Gonk is staying pretty close to Mali Keket at the moment. He's not quite close enough to make a move, but despite Mali Keket getting past him fairly quickly, Gonk is actually holding on to the back of him.
So we've been dropped by Gonk there to see Ryan Hindle still after you're on track. We'll get on board with him. Ryan Hindle on these super soft tyres. I think he's missing. Oh, sorry, that was my mistake. Thought he was missing another end plate of his wing as Bartha picks up another 3-second time penalty. I think that's his second of the day, unfortunately for Bartha. But Hindle keeping his gap to Will 1, Win 1, and I think Fletcher Boy, or keeping a gap to Fletcher Boy as well. Do you think Hindle might try and make these super soft work to the end of the Grand Prix?
I don't know. I think that 26 laps is maybe a little bit too much, as we now see Hindle picking up a time penalty. I think, to be honest, it might be better for him to come in and then put some ultra softs on, because he's probably going to be 2 or 3 seconds a lap faster on a new set of ultra softs compared to an extremely worn set of super softs. So I don't think, even if it was possible, that it would be worth it.
Well, if just working out now, if Hindle does hit now, he'll come out very closely to Danny Railton in 10th. Well, yeah. But like you said, he'd be very quick at that point, but quite far behind. So I think it'd be worth Hindle staying out personally, unless his tyre gets bad.
Yeah, well, obviously Hindle, we're picking up that 3-second time penalty. This makes Hindle's race a lot harder. He needs to be 3 seconds ahead of the car behind him. With the field close as it is, you can see the top 10, top 9, I should say, because Danny Wilson's 19 seconds behind Gong. The top 9 is very close to each other, actually, so I don't know what the best choice would be for Hindle here with that 3-second time penalty, because I don't think I've seen anyone, any other names, pop up with a penalty just yet.
There have been a few. We've got Millstar on the back of RDB now. He's really pushing on, and RDB looking like a bit of a sitting duck, and he's just let Millstar go there. RDB knows that he's not really fighting these guys, and I think that's a smart call from him. We'll see if he does pit this lap, but the other one, Fletcher, is getting quite close to Hindle, though he's run wide and just lost a little bit of time there. So you see Valdemar grabbing a penalty as well. There have been a few penalties, but yeah, Fletcher looking like he will probably get past Hindle fairly soon, and he's got much newer tyres than Hindle.
Well, with Fletcher straight line speed, looking good. He's got very close to the back of Hindle on that DRS straight, and is now within 0.3 of a second of Ryan Hindle. The question is, will we see Hindle pit at this point? Because I do believe that Fletcher boy will be going to the end of the race, because I do think he pitted in on lap 8 or 9, and Hindle is going for the pits. He's gone on for another lap, so brave call by Hindle here. He might actually be going to the end of the race on that set of tyres.
Yeah, RDB going for another lap as well. I would definitely expect to see him in on this lap, but Fletcher, he's only 0.3 behind Hindle. Let's see if he's able to gain on Hindle along this straight, and Hindle going very defensive early on. Look at that, trying to break the toe from Fletcher, but Fletcher not even able to get remotely close to him along that straight. So Hindle perhaps running some low wings. I mean, we did see he was very, very quick in Sector 1 in qualifying, so that is a possibility. We've also had Alan Muntean during that has gotten up past Danny Railton, and Alan Muntean is now up into 10th. So yeah, he's got an opportunity to grab the first point for the Sauber here. Missed that move, apologies for that.
Really trying to keep up with Hindle, but obviously Hindle not just not just a driver, he's a World Series champion, so he does know how to drive the car. Fletcher boy struggling to keep up with Hindle. I think at this point he got behind him quite easily, but as you know, Curly, it's very hard to follow another car on this game in general, and not just around the track, but the 2017 car. It's very hard to follow a car with dirty air, and I think that's what Fletcher boy is suffering at this point, as he again does not go for the move.
Yeah, that middle sector, it's you got the dirty air all the way through there, and then it's crucial to get a good launch off of one of the right-hand corners, and you know, when you're sat right behind another car, it can just be difficult to get the throttle down like you normally would in clear air. As we see RDB come into the pits, Hindle goes for another lap, so maybe he is trying to make this last. Fletcher once again very close to him, but Farthba grabbing another time penalty. He's had quite a few, I think, in this race, but Fletcher, he's to be honest, he's not even gaining on Hindle. I mean, he's got the toe, he's got the DRS, but he's getting absolutely nowhere near him on this straight. Hindle with phenomenal straight line speed.
Looking very good at this point. Got particularly very wide apex into that corner. He's getting a very good exit out of it, and Fletcher boy still not being able to make a move. He's stuck behind Hindle for I think 2 or 3 laps at this point. And Fletcher boy nearly hits the wall there. Sorry, thought Fletcher boy was about to lose a wing or maybe a wheel there. He's kept it on the track, and well, I think this at the moment is the closest battle going on, with Konzo being 10 seconds apart from Millstar. So it's Konzo really putting the foot to the floor at this point. The race, and obviously bringing them ties to the end as Danny Railton picks up a penalty for the Williams team. But Konzo putting his foot to the floor, and well, really showing the field why he's the World Series champion at this point.
Fletcher just parked 0.3 behind Hindle, and I mean, Hindle having that penalty. I'm not sure if Fletcher has a penalty. James, would you be able to perhaps check if Fletcher has one? But I mean, as of right now, I think he is sitting in effective P4 due to Hindle's penalty, but he's got to worry about guys coming from behind. I mean, we've seen RDB come out of the pits into a huge amount of clean air. He's going to start trying to run down Gonk, so it'll be interesting to see if he's able to do that, but it's quite a long way. I mean, he's got to make up 11 seconds in well, just about 10 laps. So yeah, Danny Railton is in a wall in the middle sector. He's out of this race, unfortunately, from P11. So yeah, that's his race over. He's just lost the car, I think, through the quick right-hander.
Yeah, I think he's done that, and Hindle not being able to close the gap down. Well, Hindle and Fletcher Boy not being able to close the gap to Wilwon Winwon. So Winwon having a very strong race. And James, does Wilwon Winwon have any pre-race comments?
Oh, let me see. Let's have a look, shall we? Right, okay, so Wilwon Winwon, and I can't say his name properly, so this will be interesting, had this to say. So bear with me, guys. So he goes on to say, Wilwon Winwon wonders what would it feel like if Wilwon Winwon only won one in 1 year. Wilwon Winwon would want that one win in Russia. And if it rains and is wet, Wilwon Winwon will win a race, will win at this one.
I'm going to have to cut you off here. Fletcher's having a look at Hindle down into the third sector. He's actually lost the car. He's made contact with the back of Hindle and he's spun it into the wall. Fletcher just losing control of his car there in the braking zone. And he's lost his whole front wing. He's going to have to pit. Valdemar grabs the place. And is Fletcher he's just thrown away what was P4 there. His first race in the World Series, and I've got to say that was a bit of a rookie error there. He just lost the car under the braking and went straight into the back of Hindle and then into the wall.
That corner is a very hard corner. You can easily lose the car there, and well, Fletcher just demonstrated what can happen if you pull that throttle just a little bit too much in that corner. So Fletcher was on for a very good result here, and then he's now pitting for I think the ultra soft tyres, obviously, changing his front wing in the process. And then Fletcher Boy will be able to push them ultra softs all the way to the end, and well, push them really, really hard. Obviously, only 8 laps left on them, so we'll be looking for a late charge here on the cars in front. Go on, James.
Okay, hang on. Okay, so yeah, Wilwon Winwon will aim to win one of the races if Wilwon Winwon can't win in Russia in the rain. As for Tyler, Wilwon Winwon is wondering how much it will give the other races an advantage. Wilwon Winwon wishes no harm to anyone and will really try to weave his way around the slower cars. Well, that is how Wilwon rolls and will race in front of racing. Merry Christmas to all. Cheers for that, Steve.
Well, you did a good job on that, James. As we see, Wilwon Winwon steering the car in third. This will be a great result for the Red Bull team. Obviously, with Stocky and Wilwon Winwon, Stocky, I think, being the clear #1 driver in that team, and Wilwon Winwon really showing what he can do with the absence of a couple of guys. Obviously, Calzo retired, and then Malik Kekec having problems, Hindle having problems, and then Wilwon Winwon has really stepped up. Well, it's really stepped up and taken that third position with race. And, keeping up with Millstar, actually. He's not too far behind Millstar. He might be able to go for an attack if he can keep his car steady. As he closes in another 10th on Millstar with 7 laps to go. 2.9 seconds now, so will we see Wilwon Winwon going for a late charge in order to get that P2?
I think something else to point out here is that 2 of the guys involved in that huge opening incident, Hindle and Mali Kekec, have found their way into the top 6 somehow. A couple of drivers having issues and whatnot, but yeah, I mean, those 2 have done a phenomenal job to get themselves back up into some solid points positions. And I mean, we'll see if Hindle's tyres make it to the end of the race. I'm not entirely convinced that they will, but he's definitely going for it at this point. He's too late to make a pit stop. So, and then Mali Kekec seems to have done quite well in these soft tyres. I don't know if you guys have done any laps around this track on the soft compound tyre, but I've tried it and it wasn't a very enjoyable experience. It just seems like a really slow tyre, but it seems to be working for Mali Kekec.
Yeah, Mali Kekec doing a great job here in P6, and he's got clear air. I mean, he's got Valdemar 5 seconds in front, Gong 5 seconds behind. So at this point, it does not look like Mali Kekec will be moving up further. But obviously, Valdemar does have that penalty, and will team orders come into play actually with obviously the 2 Toro Rossos being in P5 and P6, and Valdemar knowing SBO Mali Kekec is in that championship battle and needs every point he can get, especially with his main rival Calzo out of the race and his other main rival Gonzo leading the race. So Malik Kekec at this point can use any point that he can get, and Will Timor is coming to play for the Toro Rosso boys.
I don't know about that. I mean, Valdemar is really starting to gain on Hindle. Hindle's tyres are beginning to give up. He's been on them for 20 laps now, and Valdemar on much newer super soft tyres is he gained about half a second on Hindle through that final sector there. He's not gained very much through this first sector, but we know that Hindle's very quick through this part of the track, a lot of full throttle sections, and yeah, I mean, Valdemar, I think he's got to try and get this position, and I think he should be able to do it. Hindle's tyres are only going to get worse and worse in these final laps. To be honest, I wouldn't entirely rule out him getting caught by Malik Kekec towards the end either.
Well, you say that, but obviously Malik Kekec has done, I think, 26 laps on him, softs as well, so Malik Kekec's tyres won't be the best either, especially towards the end of the race. And I think Malik Kekec at this point is only losing time to Valdemar. I think he's lost 6/10 to Valdemar in one lap. But obviously, what you say, Hindle on a super soft tyres, I think it was lap 3. Well, this is not really... this is a big ask for the tyres here that Hindle is trying. I think they will be surprising if you can see Hindle make it to the end, especially on the pad, and having his aggressive driving style. I'll be surprised if Hindle actually makes it to the end, or maybe we'll see him go into the pits out of pure safety.
Yeah, I mean, it's really obvious through this final sector. Hindle's struggling a lot on traction. Valdemar's gaining a huge amount on him, and I think that now he might have an opportunity down the main straight, although we see that Hindle is unbelievably fast in the straight line. I think he's running very, very low wings to this race, and I mean, look at that, Valdemar. We were commenting earlier in the race that Valdemar looked like he had a very fast car at a straight line, but he's not even gaining on Hindle, so I think he's got to look somewhere else to get past this Mercedes, because Hindle is running some extremely skinny wings.
Hindle keeps making a very weird line. It's that turn 4, not turn 3, sorry. So Hindle, I think he's struggling massively with grip at this point and trying to maximise the speed into the corner by doing that, but I think it's only costing him time at this point with the tyres that he has. And Valdemar's very, very close to the back of Hindle. Will he go for a move here? He's chucked it up the inside, and Hindle giving him, well, it's not giving him a lot of room, but Valdemar obviously having to make that move on the fresher tyres, and Hindle just had to give up the place, unfortunately, for Hindle. But now it is a case of can Hindle stay within 3 seconds of Valdemar, as Gonk picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. But unfortunately for the other drivers, Gonk is nowhere near anyone else, so I don't think that'll damage Gonk's result at this point. But Valdemar has been able to pull out 0.8 of a second, well, within them couple of corners, so Hindle tyres, will we see him diving into the pits?
Yeah, just an interesting point. You're mentioning Hindle's line through turn 3, and I do actually have the answer for that. So I don't know how long it's been since you've run with a racing line, Dom, but the actual sort of racing line assist goes out on that wide line through turn 3, so that might explain why Hindle was using that line and Valdemar was perhaps using the tighter line. Because we know some of the drivers in the World Series do use the racing line. Hindle is one of those, but I do know that Valdemar doesn't use it. So yeah, we can see Hindle using this sort of wide line through turn 3. Personally, I prefer the tighter line on the inside. But yeah, also as well, you're pointing out Gonk picking up a penalty. I think that might be an issue towards the end of the race, because RTB's taken 5 seconds out of him on this stint alone. And he is still catching Gonk. He's got 4 laps left, so he might actually be able to get within 3 seconds of Gonk here by the end of the race. Another point is Will1Win1 is edging this gap down to Millstar. It's now 1.5 seconds, so there is a chance he'll be able to get within the DRS within the next couple of laps.
That will be interesting to see for Will1Win1. That would make the great result for Repsol even greater. If he can get P2, Will1Win1 would be a great result for him. I think his last win, I think, is like 2 seasons back or 3 seasons back, so he is looking for another good result. Will1Win1 did not have the best of seasons last season with Calzo as a teammate. Calzo having a very good season. He only joined halfway and grabbed a podium, a couple of podiums, sorry, and a victory in that McLaren. And Will1Win1, I think, grabbed a podium, and I think that was, well, I think maybe a podium or 2 was all the good results Will1Win1 got in that season, and it would be a great result for him if he can get that podium early on in the season. That would probably make him hungry for more, as Hindle is now 1.6 seconds behind Valdemar, so really losing a lot of time. And as you said, Curly, Malik Kekec is not far behind at all at this point. He's only 2.8 seconds behind, and he was 6 seconds behind earlier, so he's really eating into that gap that is in between them. He's got no fear from behind Malik Kekec. He's really found some pace, because Gok used to be 5 seconds behind him. He's now 11 seconds behind him. So Malik Kekec is going for a late charge in this race.
I think this is just the tyre compounds. I mean, Malik Kekec putting these soft tyres on, and they will last much longer than those super softs. James, would you be able to see how much faster Malik Kekec is at the moment in terms of lap time to Hindle, because that gap is coming down? And I mean, even just if you just go on board with Hindle and look at his tyres, I mean, they look, on my screen, the front tyres look to be two completely different tones on each half. So yeah, I think that they are really falling off the cliff. You can see the car starting to twitch around through the corners, and he's very sort of tentative on the traction. So Hindle is really struggling, and Malik Kekec is taking about half a second out of him through the middle sector alone.
Yeah, I'm looking at his rear tyres now, and his rear tyres actually have 3 different tones of colours. So Hindle will be struggling so much. He'll be struggling so much with that car, despite running assists, to get that car towards the end of the race. And I really hope for him he does, because Hindle could use a good result as well, with Calzo out of the race and Malik Kekec being behind him. And Hindle obviously has been a World Series champion, wants to challenge for that title. We're only 3 races in. He's not had the best of results so far in the season. But Grand Prix 2 in Bahrain, they will be wanting to build onto that result. But it's not working out for him at the moment. Malik Kekec is only 1.6 seconds behind with 3 laps to go. But as we've seen earlier with Hindle, his straight line speed is very good. It's very hard to get past him.
I'm going to cut you off here. We're going to move for 12th, sorry, for 11th place. Farthba looking down the inside of Ant 69. Farthba having closed this gap in quite a lot. He's not able to make the move at the moment. We've also got Will One Win One within the DRS of Millstar up front. He's 9 tenths back, so not quite making a move yet. But yeah, Farthba climbing all over the back of Ant. And on the soft compound tyres, Farthba on the super soft. So I think that Farthba's looking to get past here, and this move, it's not necessarily for a points paying position. This one's just for pride, but I'm sure that Farthba doesn't want to finish last on track, and he's quite close to Ant, but he's not gotten the best exit out of that final corner, running a little bit wide onto the curb. And I think, as we know, just trying to get traction on the curbs here, it's pretty much impossible. You're always going to lose out. No, he's gonna wait.
He was going to go for a dive, as we see Will One Win One losing out on DRS with 1.1 seconds, and is now back into DRS with 0.8 seconds. I'm going to go on board with him for a minute. So I'm sorry.
Farthba's gaining a lot through turn 3. He's going to have a look around the outside almost. Through turn 4, he's not able to make that move on.
Hold on, it's raining. Is it raining? Am I seeing that correctly? Yeah, it's raining on the track.
Oh, it's not predicted for that one. I don't think it was on the forecast, right? That it was.
No,
it was
not on the forecast at all. But it's definitely raining on Farthba's car. I can see the raindrops appearing on the front of his car. So the cars will be struggling with grip massively.
Hold on, gotta get on board with Malik Kekec. He's 6 tenths away from Hindle now.
Right.
I mean, I think with the raindrops coming down as well, Hindle's tyres have got to be absolutely dead. That seems to be, I think, to me, that would compound the problem, right? I mean, his tyres are completely gone, and the track is starting to get a little bit slippery. Will Win One starts all kicking off in these final laps.
Yeah, obviously, we also know with the rain, obviously, it benefits you having that harder set of tyres, because my experience is that the harder set of tyres work better in the rain. So this definitely benefits Malik Kekec. He's now 0.4 seconds behind Hindle with 1.5 laps to go, but Hindle will be defending that position with his life. And Hindle, a very strong defender as he cuts that corner. I think Hindle will be looking out for more penalties, as Malik Kekec is very, very close to him now. Will we see Malik Kekec going for a move here on Hindle? Hindle struggled very much for traction, and Malik Kekec is ready.
Oh, Will One Win One's on the inside. Will One Win One's got a penalty for collision and cutting a corner.
Oh yeah, indeed, but I'm going to get
Malik Kekec and Hindle very side by side as well. Malik Kekec is ahead going into the braking zone. He's got so much more grip at the moment, and there's really nothing that Hindle can do there. He tried his best to defend on the inside and brake as late as he could, but Malik Kekec, just with considerably more grip right now, does manage to get past him. I believe there was a significant amount of contact between Millstar and Will One Win One there as well. And we've also got Fletcher, going around the outside of RDB almost. No, he just backs out of it there. Is he going to have a look down into the chicane? No, not quite. It looks like there's he's got a lot more pace than RDB at the moment, and Fletcher is all over the back of him. He's going to have a look.
Will one win one in second, Will one win one in second, but he has got a 3-second penalty.
Fletcher has just gotten ahead of RDB going through those penultimate corners as well. Really all kicking off here.
Yeah, I don't know what to look at. Sorry, I keep switching between cars, and it's very hard to see to look what to focus on. As Konzo is 23 seconds ahead, so Konzo's win is pretty much confirmed if he doesn't bin it in the last sector, because their team is obviously called Binmen, so that will be for a reason, obviously. But Will win one indeed, getting into that second place, but with that 3-second time penalty, we'll probably not be able to hold on to that. Yeah, Milstar, he is getting very close, but I do not want to miss Konzo crossing line, as Konzo is in the final sector, as Milstar will be trying to go for a move here.
No, Will 1-1's a little bit too far ahead of him, I think.
It's too far ahead.
So we've got Konzo rounding the final corner.
And Konzo going across the line in the final lap of this race, and Konzo winning the race here round 4 in Russia, his first win of the season, and showing the field why he is the World Series champion, benefiting of the retirement of his teammate and brother Kalzo, and the problems that Malik Keket and Hindle have suffered. As we see now, Will win one crossing the line in P2 if he doesn't spin the car in the last corner, but obviously having that penalty that will probably promote Milstar into P2, and it's not done that. Milstar has probably had a penalty then as well, as Valdemar crosses the line in P4, Malik Keket in 5th, Hindle in position.
Malik Keket jumps Valdemar for P4.
Valdemar, yeah, he jumps Valdemar P4, so a very good points haul here for Malik Keket, only losing out on 13 points compared to Konzo.
I know it's for 11th and 12th, but Ant and Farfra are in a great battle. Oh no, Ant's actually let Farfra through, so not put into that one, never mind.
Well, the battle's not over yet, I don't think, because
RDB's just spun his car across the line. He's got across the line backwards in style there from RDB. Ant69 making a move on Farthma into the final sector. This one's just for pride, but Farthma's going to try and cut back under it. No, he's made contact on the back of Ant, and he's lost his front wing. I think that will probably make it pretty much impossible for him to get that place back, but he's still trying. And just defending to the inside here for the penultimate corner. Farthborough looking around the outside. He's going to be able to hold it there. They're going to go side by side into the final corner, and Farthborough just struggling on the traction and just gets him across the line.
So a very interesting race there, boys. Lots of stuff happening in the first lap, and then a lot of things happening towards the end of the race. Well, and in the middle of the race, obviously, but the end of the race, a very interesting one. A lot of overtakes at the end of the race. As you see the podium sitters climbing the podium, and Konzo with the Scottish flag on the top stand. And Milstar indeed grabbed a penalty too. So that means Will 1-1 will be provisional P2. Because obviously these results are provisional, and I think we will see some stewards' inquiries after that start, and who knows what happens after the stewards' inquiry. You might see a couple of positions switch. But anyway, this is the podium for you. Konzo is in P1, Will 1-1 in P2, and Milstar in P3. And take us through the rest of the grid, James.
Yeah, so we've got, I think, driver of the day for me is it's got to be Mali getting from the back to 4th position on those softs, but he's in 4th position with no penalties actually as well, the same as Connor. 5th is Valdemar, a couple of penalties for Valdemar. 6th, a good recovery, although his tyres did die for Hindle, so yeah, he did well to get back to where he got to. Gonk in 7th, very good drive by Gonk, that's a terrific result actually. 8th for Fletcher Boy, could have been a lot better for Fletcher Boy, but obviously the incident cost him dearly. RDB in 9th and Allen in 10th, and then outside the points, giving us some good entertainment on the last couple of laps was Ant69 and Farther.
So if Curly, you can invite the 3 podium sitters into the party, and we'll have a little chat with them. And have a word about the race. Most guys doing a one-stop in this race, as you can see, and Hindle actually does manage to make the tyres work all the way to the end. Unbelievable stuff there from Ryan Hindle, bringing them tyres from I think lap 3, so doing 23 laps to 24 laps.
I think it was longer than that. I think it was lap 1 that he put those tyres, because he was involved in that crash at the very start of the race. So yeah, he'd got 26 laps out of a set of super softs. That's incredible.
So it's incredible stuff there by Hindle, but unfortunately it did not bring him a podium. as we see the podium sitters Millstar in P3, Will1 Win1 grabbing a podium after a long time in P3 and P2, and Konzo once again being on the top step in the World Series. Well, again, obviously a multiple race winner. Konzo won a lot of races last season and a couple of seasons before when he became World Series champion. But we'll have a word with him in a moment, as I do believe you've
guys,
invited them.
if you don't mind, I'll let you two do the podium interviews. I've just got to nip off and do something, so I'll leave it in your good hands, and I'll speak to you again.
All right, James. Well, thank you for the contribution today, and we'll see you in
worries,
2 weeks'
guys.
time, or 3 weeks' time, actually. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, it will be 3 weeks time. Yeah, of course it will be. Yeah. Okay, no worries, guys. I'll speak to you soon anyway.
Right, speak to you soon, James. Thank you. As
Okay, we've got Millstar and Will1 Win1 in the lobby. We're just waiting for Konzo.
Yeah. As I see Hindle not being very happy with the driving in the league. As he said, probably my last race in FRR, driving ability absolutely abysmal. So something has happened obviously to Hindle in the race, but I will have a chat with him after the race and find out what happened. But anyway, we're waiting for Konzo, our race winner, to join the podium interviews and have a word with him first, because the other two are in yet, Steve and Million. Good races by the two of them. Great battle in the last stages of the race, with Will1 Win1 coming out of that on top and taking that P2. We'll be very happy with that. I think last podium was in Italy last season, and I think the last podium before that was miles back. So it's a good result for Steve, and Millstar, I think, grabbing his first ever podium in FRR, so that was a very good result for him. Showed some very good pace in a couple of races last season and this season, and has finally grabbed himself a very deserved podium. Curly, have you invited Konzo? Are you sure you have? Because he's not joined yet.
Yep, I've sent him two, and I'm sending a third.
Alright, well, I'll message him and ask him to join.
Oh, he's just joined.
Oh, he's just joined. There you go. So I don't have to send the message. And there we have Konzo, Connor Adamson, winning the race here in round 4, Russia, in Bahrain. Do you want to take away the interviews, Curly, to start off with?
Yep, just a reminder, although a couple of these guys have been in the comms box probably far too much. Just a reminder to put your microphones on Allow to be shared, so that the viewers can hear your answers to the questions. Alright, so Konzo, we'll go to you first as the race winner. Ended up being quite a dominant performance there in the race, but I want to hop back to actually all the way to your pre-race comments. You said before the race started that you were hoping for a wet race. It was dry until the final 2 laps. Did your pace in the dry perhaps surprise you tonight?
Pace in the dry wasn't as good as the practice run. I changed my setup last minute, and it was a bad idea. I was like maybe nearly 2/10 off my best time, so I would have been pretty close to Ryan's qualifying time. But anyway, I don't usually qualify well, as we know. So, but in the race, I was very consistent with my lap times. I think I was winning like half a tenth in the last lap of the race there. So. I managed my tyres well, so it's just a shame that I had nobody to race with in the end.
No, that is unlucky, Konzo. Obviously, something happened with Calzo and Hindle and Mali Kekec, all three involved in that first corner collision. Can you talk us through that? Do you have a good view on that?
Yeah, I do have a pretty good view on what happened, but I'm unsure how and who is to really blame from what happened. But yeah, I drove straight in the middle of the track hoping Ryan didn't hit me, because I had you'll see it in my footage, that is literally a red indicator, and I think I looked in my mirrors and I think he missed me by like a wheel, maybe.
No, you moved across the track 5 times.
Oh no. We'll leave that one out. That's water under the bridge anyway. But yeah, so it was very close, because there would have been a 4-car collision there, and I probably would have wiped out half the field there, because they were all following me through the middle, through the carnage that was happening.
Right, Curly, I'm waiting for you to speak. I don't know if you're still there.
Oh, sorry. I thought you had another question, perhaps. So
No.
yeah, Konzo. I mean, you were then after that opening incident up to P3, and then I believe there was an incident. Well, I think a mistake from a driver ahead, and then you were running down Valdemar. I mean, talk us through, your thoughts when you were chasing down Valdemar, because it looked like at the beginning of that you might have had some troubles there. I mean, after watching perhaps the championship race last night, were you worried that you might not be able to get past?
Yeah, I mean, obviously watching the comms last night in the box, watching people struggle to overtake other people with the way this track is laid out. It's just weird at this game, but the slipstream doesn't seem to work at all around this track, even though it's got quite a few straights like in between corners. So when I caught Valdemar, I was a bit worried, but I had a bit of a connection issue a little bit as well, because some cars were coming backwards towards me and then speeding up really quickly. So it may take a bit longer than it would have usually been to get closer to him, but I made sure I didn't take any risks, because there's no point in taking risks now since whatever happened at turn 1. And I was in a good position to obviously win the race in the end, so thankfully I managed to do that.
Alright, well, congratulations to you. Very good performance there tonight. Really were dominant in the race there, so well done to you. Tom, do we want to head over to our second place sitter, Will win one?
Yes, we will. Will win one in second. That's a great result for the Red Bull team, obviously with the absence of Stocky. Steve, well, how did the race go, and especially talk us through those last couple of laps with Milstar, because what a battle that was.
Well, I actually finished the race kind of gutted, even though I'm in second place, because I wanted it to be such a clean race, and I made a bit of contact with him when I caught up to him. And I wasn't expecting to make the move on him at that point. It just, the braking point caught me out a little bit with it, the track getting a bit damp. And I ended up having to cut the corner to try and avoid heavy contact. And that's where I got my 3-second penalty. So I let him back through and I had to have another go at him down the next straight. But I also experienced what Konzo did with the cars coming back towards you on the straights and then speeding up again. And it happened a little bit with Milstar at the end. But yeah, it was a little bit strange that, with the cars coming back towards you, but yeah, I should be happy with that, second place, and I'm pretty sure this season will win one.
Well, I hope for you. I hope for you, definitely.
I had a bit of that question.
I hope for you definitely that there will be a chance. Obviously, the season's quite long still. So I hope there will be a chance for you to win a race. Obviously, with the absence of Stocky, do you feel that you're driving this race? Because obviously, normally, and I don't mean this in any bad way, but obviously Stocky being kind of the first driver in your team, and you being the second driver, do you felt that you drove differently this race just because Stocky wasn't there?
No, I wouldn't say so. I can hold my hands up and say I know Stocky is a faster driver than me. Simple as that. If he's behind me, I might as well let him pass, because then he'll go and catch the next guy in front of me. So whether you say he's the first driver, I'm the second driver, I see it as he's the faster driver, I'm the slower driver. Simple as that.
All right then, Curly, have you got any questions for Steve?
Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about the constructors here. I mean, Red Bull currently sat in third. Obviously, the result tonight will help out with that. But you do seem to be in a little bit of no man's land between sort of the top two teams and then the midfield behind. For yourself and Stocky, I mean, what do you think you guys need to work on to really try and catch Toro Rosso and Ferrari?
We need to work on Stocky's connection. Simple as that. Because the last race, I mean, he sets the fastest lap in qualifying on pole position, then gets disconnected. And that I'm not saying he would have gone on to win, but it could have been 25 points for him. And it's a long season, and I'm pretty sure with the points that he can score, and I'll get a handful here and there. Yeah, we should be battling somewhere near the top of the constructors, if his connection's good.
Yeah, I also think the result tonight, assuming that it stands, will put you up into I think either third or fourth in the championship. Is that kind of a surprise, or would you consider? Well, I mean, would you expect to see yourself perhaps up around there at the end of the season?
Most seasons when I've been in the World Series, I've finished either second or third. And I can't remember where I was last season. Was I?
I think you were third or fourth. I
Most
can't remember actually.
third.
I think it was fourth. I think Lefty Artil pipped you to third. I think.
Pipped me by 2 points or something. Yeah. But I should be up there within, at least within the top five. That's my aim, to be within the top five, and it's pretty much my aim for most races, be in the top five. And I think in a way, me and Millstar probably both agree that we got lucky today, because of the collisions that happened in front of us.
Well, sometimes that's all that it takes, is for a little bit of misfortune in front of you, and of course you've got to be there to take advantage of those situations. And we saw a lot of drivers have great opportunities today and kind of throw it away. So, congratulations to you for that. It was a very well fought P2, especially from 9th on the grid. I'm going to head over to our third place hitter, Millstar. I believe Millstar, is this your first podium in the World Series?
Yeah, it's my first win.
Oh, go on then. Tell us all about it. I mean, how does that feel? I know you've been racing here for a little while. It's got to be a huge relief to grab the podium now.
It was very difficult actually throughout the race. I mean, I had like constant pressure in the first few laps from a Fletcher boy, I think it was, and to hold on for third, regardless of if I got passed on in the last lap, it was very difficult. But it was a good race, and I'm happy I held on for that third eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've looked to have some really strong pace this season, and obviously you showed that tonight. What is it about F1 2017 that maybe has propelled you forward a little bit compared to last season?
I guess I've turned off some of my assists. I've gone from like automatic to manual, and I've gone from full to medium traction. And getting used to it was a bit difficult, but after you've got used to it, it's just definite improvement in general pace. And I just generally prefer the game. The game is, it just suits me a bit better.
All right, it's great to hear. Tom, do you have any questions for our third place hitter, Millstar?
Yes, I do, because obviously with this result, what is the aim for you for the rest of the season? Will you be aiming for, because as Steve just said, I think you've got quite similar pace at this point. What's the aim for you for the rest of the season? Is it top five as well as Steve, or have you got any constructors, constructors goals?
Constructors, I don't know, because Ant seems to be struggling a little bit recently. He's a really good driver, but I think he's got unlucky in the last few races. So on a personal level, I don't really have anywhere I'm aiming for in the constructors, but at every race I'm just looking to do as good as I can, and whatever happens, I guess.
All right. Well, I think that is the podium interviews for the top three done. As we get back up with Konzo, I think, as we have a look at the Grand Prix that is next on the calendar, and that is Spain. Konzo, obviously Spain, your teammate back into the game, and hopefully not crashing out in the first corner that time. What do you think you can do there? Is Spain a strong track for you? I'm not sure if you've actually won a Grand Prix there in the previous seasons. So what do you think you and also your teammate can do in Spain in order to get that driver's title away from Mali Kekec, or the driver's standings?
I think I'll be a bit closer now to the standings, but I'm not really looking at the driver's standings right now. It's usually the second half of the season you start really looking at it, and then you can tell what's going to happen. But as for Spain, sunny Spain next, hopefully. But it's been I've been quite strong in the past in that track, but just never quite quick enough. So we'll see what happens with that one. But I'm feeling pretty good on the wheel right now in F1, so we'll see what happens there, I suppose. As for Callum, he needs to start finishing a race or getting some points, because the last two races he's had nothing.
And I would agree with you on that one. Unfortunately for Carlos, obviously his race ended very early today. And Curly, have you got any questions for Stephen Vermillion? Looking at the next Grand Prix.
All right, Steve, I'll ask you, perhaps aiming for a win this season, which track do you think is going to give you the best opportunity of a win?
There's two great possibilities, and it's going to be Monaco or Monza. Both very different, but I know I can set my car up great for both circuits. And last season, I was done by the game by a bit of a glitcher that gave me blue flags for cars that were in a position, and I was fighting for position. So, yeah, it screwed me over last season. So, yeah, Monaco and Monza. Keep an eye on me for them circuits.
And definitely will do. Dom, do you have a final question for Milstar?
Yeah. Well, I was just going to add, Monaco obviously is not too far away, so we will see Steve try and grab a win there, or maybe in Spain. You never know what happens, as we saw today. Million, do you think?
I never have any luck. I just said in Spain, I never have any luck. I think out of 5 seasons, I've crashed out 4 times because of people crashing into me.
Well, at least make sure you keep your car away from other cars, and who knows, you might finish the race in a good position as well.
Get rid of them bad thoughts.
Million, obviously with this result, do you think that gives you a boost for the next Grand Prix? And do you think you can challenge for the podium again, even if the likes of Calzo, Hindle, and Mali Kekec are at the front?
Definitely not. I'm probably going to need a little bit of luck again if I want to challenge for another podium this season. But that is my aim. I guess, to get one more this season. That would be nice. But yeah, I'm in a midfield battle at the moment, so I've got to concentrate on that first of all.
All right then. Well, I think that's the podium interviews done, Curly. So I think we can wrap it up now. As it was round 4 of the Russian Grand Prix, as we saw Conzo winning it provisionally with Will Win in P2 and Milstar in P3. And we will be back with you, I think, in 2 weeks' time, because obviously with the Christmas, we will have 1 week of a break, and let all the drivers and admins and commentators enjoy the Christmas with their family and friends, and obviously New Year's Eve as well. And then we will be back, I think, on the 4th of January, if I'm correct, Curly, with the Reserves League in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, it should be Thursday the 4th of January for the 5th round of the Reserves in Spain.
Obviously then, and a week after that we'll have the World Championship again. On the Wednesday we'll see the likes of Curly and me battling it out with each other, maybe like in Russia where we battled for 27 laps. And on the Thursday after that we'll see the guys like Conzo, Milstar, Will1Win1 and all the rest of the field battle it out in the World Series at the beautiful track of Spain, Catalonia. We thank you all for watching, and we wish you a very good night on behalf of Front Row Racing, me and Curly.